Let's go to Orv from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great. Thank you again for taking my call.
Pleasure.
Um, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, I guess, student loans and sort of the crisis that's going on with that. Clearly, the Biden administration and congressional Democrats are aiming at canceling some form of debt, whether that be 5,000 to 50,000.
Yep.
It seems that there are some subsector of America that is a little bit hesitant to do this for various reasons, whether that be paying them down already or not having them in the first place, although it does seem that the majority of Americans do support that. And I guess my question would be, how do we address that? Would there possibly be in the long term versus just, obviously clearly canceling some portion of that debt is going to alleviate some of the issue in the short term, but the long term, it seems to me that predatory loans are maybe more of the issue rather than the actual
Yep.
um,
So
debt
here's
itself
my
that
view.
they owe.
Because of if we were rebuilding the system from scratch, we would just build it in a different way that would prevent the cycle of it's so easy to get student loans, which makes it easy for colleges to raise prices because then you just get the loans and then you owe more money, but wages don't go up and it becomes unsustainable, which is what we have. That's the crisis that we have. We would build the system differently. But being
Right.
that we are where we are, there should be some degree of student loan forgiveness. And I've seen a lot of different proposals about what that should be and how it should be targeted. As I've said before, it doesn't strike me that the right way to do it is to forgive every dollar of student debt for everybody. That doesn't make sense to me. But I think that some fixed amount plus more with certain requirements attached to it is a good way to go. But you're
Sure.
completely right that that doesn't really solve the problem, because if you just have a policy of we forgive everyone's loans forever, then schools just keep making school more expensive. And, the
Oh,
cycle
right.
essentially continues.
And
So
I think you kind of get back into that same cycle where we're going to wipe the slate clean, but then we haven't really addressed the root issue of the problem. And
exactly.
what I'm thinking in my head is, does it make sense to maybe go with or establish some sort of a federal loan program where there is a little to no interest rate where we're providing federal dollars as like a loan,
So that
given that you're
exists
paying them
already.
back income
That
based.
exists already for grad school. I had the federal loans where interest accrual is suspended for periods of time, and so that exists. It could be expanded. I think
Right.
ultimately something needs to be done to bring the cost of college in line with wages, because if you look at how the cost of college has changed relative to wages in many fields, it's completely out of whack. If you look at cost of college relative to inflation, relative to cost of living, it's completely out of whack. So that's what needs to be gotten under control. I'm not saying the government just needs to decide what prices are. That does that, I don't think that that's the solution. Government sets prices on private and public schooling, but something needs to be done to get that under control. And the student loan piece is a problem that subsidizes colleges continuing to charge more and more. And a one-time debt forgiveness is not going to deal with that issue.
Sure. Yep. All right. Well, hey, thanks again for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
My
And have a
pleasure.
great day.
Very important issue. Orv, appreciate the call.